Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our Saturday conversation. My name is Kate Wilson, and I'm one of the associate priests in the benefice of Avon Valley Churches, which are a group of 7 churches on the northwestern edge of the New Forest, a beautiful part of the world. This is our Saturday conversation, and I'm very delighted to be able to introduce a new member to join our staff team, and that's the lovely Laura Cowdery. Good morning, Laura. How are you this morning?
Hi, Kate. Hi, everyone. I'm well, thank you, thankfully, and it's lovely to speak to you and to introduce myself to everyone else in the Avon Valley churches this morning.
Lovely. Now, so you joined us just a few weeks ago. Would you like to tell us a little bit about your job?
Of course. So I was fortunate to be appointed the role of digital communications enabler, which is not easy to say, as well as the digital support worker role. So altogether they make a very long title, but basically the first role, digital communications enabler, is looking after the public relations online and on print, and making sure everyone's communicating across the teams and across the churches. So anyone with any news or information that they would like to share, by all means send it to me, and would be really, really glad to post it online or in print, just so that we can all share each other's news. So that's the first part of the job. And then the second part of the job is the digital support worker. So this really has come about because of the moving to online worship, which has happened since the beginning of COVID-19, and it's happened spontaneously and quickly and amazingly. The Avon Valley Churches team have just stepped out bravely and with such confidence, and to reach out to everyone in their communities, and this has involved so many people without any previous experience, just taking the leap, going online and creating videos for everyone to share. So it's helping to facilitate that, so finding people who are willing to share their stories, and helping to edit the videos, helping to post them out, schedule them online, so that we keep that sense of community going throughout this very strange period. And I'm really very proud to be part of this work, because honestly I think it's amazing when you watch one of the videos and you immediately see the people that are waiting there, who are commenting, who it clearly means so much to be, you know, to be watching and to be reached out to by all of these very kind people who are taking the time to volunteer and to share a message. So it's lovely work, and I'm very, very excited to be on board.
Oh, well, we're very delighted to have you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can you share a little bit about your faith journey?
Yes, of course. So I, like many children, was sent to Sunday school as a child. It seemed to be really standard. I'm 46, so I was still of that generation where children were sent off to Sunday school, whether their parents believed in God or not. It was part of the culture really at the time. So off I went with my sisters. My parents didn't believe in God. My dad is actually an agnostic and my mum is an atheist. But nevertheless, we were sent, and we didn't question it. You know, it seemed odd. I kind of at the time just always wondered, why are they sending me when it's not part of their own belief system? But for my mum, I think they very much wanted us to pick up on the culture and the history of the church and the music. And my dad, I think, just went along with my mum, like lots of parents. But I think they also just wanted to get us out of the house for that part of the Sunday while she did the cooking and listen to the archers. And then she had a nice bit of peace and quiet. So we were instilled and ingrained with the Church of England and with Sunday school And actually, it really gave me a grounding. A lot of it didn't make sense, but the familiarity of the hymns and the liturgy was something that we enjoyed, and it was a sense of community there as well that we had with our friends. So when that finished, when I was too old for Sunday school, I was sent to the church choir. Again, because I think it gave Mum and Dad a bit of a peace and quiet on both Friday nights and Saturdays for the weddings, and then on Sunday mornings. And again, I went along with a slight sense of confusion as to why I was here, but enjoyed being part of that musical side to the church. So again, the liturgy, the hymns, the ritual was ingrained in me, and I felt it gave me a grounding as a child without it actually making sense at the time. It was a very austere church that I went to. Everyone was dressed very smartly. My family weren't like that at all. So I would turn up looking slightly scruffy and then put my cassock on top, and my surplice and my medal, feeling a bit out of place, but nevertheless I would kind of hide all of that underneath my cassock, and really got lost in the singing, and really loved that. When it came to the ritual and the liturgy, I just followed everyone else, and without really understanding what was going on. And that was a huge part of my childhood. It really was. And then I actually moved overseas with my dad. He worked for a government aid department, and he would be sent around the world to look after the safety of the roads. So he would work all over the place in developing countries, and he had a posting to New Guinea. So that was completely different experience. I was just taken from one very familiar context into a completely strange environment. So after that point, there wasn't really much religion at all. The culture there, it was very different. They had, obviously, missionaries were there, but not a lot of church or religion whatsoever. So that from that point on, after Sunday school and church choir, there was nothing really in between. And it wasn't till a long time later that I felt a very strong sense, whether it's a yearning or a pull or a voice or that really called me back to church. And at this point, I'd moved away, I'd gone to university, I'd been traveling. I had suffered a loss of someone very, very close to me, my grandmother. And my parents had moved to Hyde, actually, in the New Forest. And so going through this kind of very sad experience, I felt compelled to go back to church. And I was very nervous because the experience that I'd had as a child was good, but I never really felt like I belonged, and it was very confusing. So I felt very trepidatious stepping back into church, but it was a very different experience, and I was warmly welcomed, and I felt immediately a sense of belonging, and people were reaching out, and without knowing anyone, a nice kind lady came to sit next to me, and we held hands, and we shared a lovely experience. Turned out she lost her husband, and from that day onwards, I went back, and I felt actually it didn't make sense to me as a child, but actually it really does make sense to me now. I think that sense of community, that sense of care and looking after one another really appealed to me. Whether or not some of the ritual and the liturgy doesn't, and some of it still doesn't, if I'm honest. The words are beautiful, and I'm so familiar with them. Actually, some days, little bits of them that didn't make sense before will make sense the next week, if you know what I mean. So you have a little epiphany moment every time you go, I think, which is lovely. So I think as an adult, having that grounding as a child was very useful. And so therefore, when I went back as an adult, a lot of things fell into place, and I got it. I understood it, and I felt Jesus and God in a warm sense of kindness. So for me, that made perfect sense, and I wanted to go back, and I wanted to care for these people as much as they cared for me, even though I was a stranger. So for me, that was a real homecoming.
Oh, how wonderful. Wonderful. Now, you got married at Hyde Church, didn't you?
We did. We, having visited and been welcomed, and living in the area, it became a really special place for us. We were married there, and our children were baptized there. And we, you know, as part of the community, we have attended lots of school events, and yeah, it's a very, very special place to us now, with lots of lovely memories.
That's right. So, and you were very involved in Messy Church, weren't you?
Yes, I enjoyed. My children, unfortunately, a bit too old for that now, but I loved being part of the Messy Church team. It was lots of fun, lots of noise, lots of mess, but it's really a fantastic way to reach out to lots of different families. It's brilliant because one day a week I didn't have to cook. That was a bonus. I was always so grateful to the really kind people that just give up their time to put it all together. And they're unsung heroes in the community. So it was really lovely, and it was just a nice place to feel supported as well. So yeah, I would kind of help out in the background and then put the song together for the week, depending on what the theme was. So yeah, it's kind of sad when the kids are a bit more grown up and weren't involved with that, but it'd be lovely to come back, and when we're allowed, it'd be lovely to come back and be part of it again.
Oh, how lovely. Now, as a family, you're very musical, aren't you?
Yes. So I had to kind of give up my musical journey when we moved overseas. I was learning the piano as a child, and obviously went to the church choir, and always loved music. But when we moved away, I had no piano, no lessons, no nothing. So I couldn't continue my training. So when we came back to the UK, I really wanted to pursue music, but I was really far behind. So I did take music A-level. I had to kind of hurriedly go through a couple of grades, and never quite finished them off. But so I did end up going to do English and music purely out of love. Those are the subjects that I love the most. So I did try my best to get up to scratch again, but then ended up teaching myself the guitar, and never really had the confidence to do performing. But one of my children is very interested in that, so it's been lovely to be able to share music through the school and the church, and in extracurricular activities with them as they've been growing up. So yeah, it's really a huge part of church, obviously, and I've tried to offer my not very professional skills whenever they've been called upon. Yeah, it's been lovely.
Well, I must confess that we saw a video of your family this morning playing a Christmas song. Tell the people who are watching what that was. It was so good.
Oh, I'm not sure if it was, but Gary very kindly has been putting a video together for the people in the care homes in the community, which is such a lovely idea. And before lockdown, we used to actually visit one of the care homes and really loved performing songs there. Some of the people you had to get used to, shall I say, who I don't know how to say it politely, but some of them were more appreciative than others. But the people that enjoyed it made it really, really special. It's a lovely, lovely, the best feeling actually to go and to meet the people in the care home and to sing for them. And I miss them. We got to know a lot of them. And so for me, when he put the call out, I just had to submit something, however dodgy it was. Anyway, so we just I think one of the songs that I really love at Christmas time is called Mele Kaliki Maka, which is a Hawaiian song, which means Merry Christmas. And I think Katie Tunstall, the Scottish singer, does it really, really well. So we did a version of that, and it was fun.
Oh, I thought it was absolutely wonderful.
Oh, bless you, you're very kind.
No, it was, and I'm sure we'll be seeing quite a lot of it around this, the Zoom circuit. It's been a real joy to be with you this morning, Laura.
Oh.
And it's been lovely to hear about your faith journey, and lovely to hear about how you have come back home almost, you know, to coming to work with us here, as you had such good connections at Hyde. So that's the end of our Saturday conversation, but our services will be streamed online tomorrow at 10 o'clock. One of them is coming from Hyde, so you'll see me there. It is a lay-led service, and Heather Clark will be leading it, but I will be there in the background. It's been lovely to be with you this morning, and may the rest of your day be very blessed. Bye-bye.
Bye.